Hello everyone, back tuning in to the 21st Christmas update. So really are running down the Christmas updates now. We've got 25 to do, so this is 21 of 25. Christmas is getting very much closer now, and we are beginning to firm up on the detail. Although there is still quite a lot of uncertainty actually about this Christmas. We are seemingly really on the periphery by Christmas of some very cold weather, and whether we get into that very cold weather or just miss it is a little bit open to question. So expect further changes, actually, over the next few days. We will eventually come to an outcome, of course, for Christmas. But this year, that may not be until next week. I suspect there will be further twists and changes going on in the next few days within the model output. So I'll show you the latest anyway, the latest GFS midday run in a second. Running very late. I've been to cinema to see Star Wars Last Jedi, so I'm running really late. I'll crack on with everything that I'm going to tell you very quickly. So Christmas Shop is still open, and you've got a Christmas Shop to do at Amazon. All you have to do is click through the Amazon banners within Gaz Shop and go and do Christmas shopping as normal. Christmas Shop from Gaz over to Amazon, where you get a revenue fee on the things that you are buying. You've still got plenty of time to get those Christmas presents through to you, but don't leave it too much longer. Time really is getting on. Now, we're using the midday run of the GFS. We've attempted to use the same run of the same model all the way through. Of course, we did change from the CFS, the long-range model, to the GFS a few updates ago. But all the time, we've tried to use the midday run of these models so that we can't be told off for cherry-picking any particular outcome. And I think with that said, I better get on because, as I say, I am running very late tonight. So we're going to begin a week away, Thursday, 21st of December, just running up towards Christmas. And what's going to happen is that next week is going to turn a lot milder. Particularly from Monday through to the middle part of next week. By Thursday, we're still under the influence of that mild weather. We've still got high pressure to our south. Low pressure is up to the north, and we're still bringing mild air around the top. So this is a mainly dry day for England and Wales. Will be very mild there. Temperatures around 10 to 12 degrees. Would be cooler, though, up across Scotland, with temperatures there down into low single figures as the wind is going into the northwest. Possibly some rain up there too. Then we go through to Friday 22nd of December, and that high pressure just pulls out ever so slightly to our west, and that allows the winds to turn into the north, and this starts to bring colder air down. I'll show you the upper air temperatures. You can see much colder air is starting to surge down across the country. Now, the models are disagreeing on how much of this cold push of air gets to us, but potentially this could be another cold northerly coming up on Friday the 22nd of December, and this would bring wintry showers certainly into northern and eastern parts of the country, possibly snow showers there up across Scotland. And obviously, it would be a much colder feel compared to the early part of next week with those much colder upper air temperatures. Then we go through to Saturday the 23rd of December, the day before Christmas Eve, or Christmas Eve Eve, if you like. And most of that cold northerly air is being shunted off into central and northern parts of Europe. So it's turning very cold through Scandinavia and down into Germany, for example. For us, we're just under this little bit of a ridge here. Now, it is still cold under that ridge because the northerly has already established the cold air. But the core of the cold, you see what I mean, that's being pushed off to the east of the British Isles. That's how the upper air temperatures are looking, and they are still cold. So this would be a cold start to the weekend of 23rd and 24th of December. Probably still enough to be bringing snow showers into northeastern parts of the country, but otherwise a reasonable amount of dry weather. The main thing would be the much colder temperatures, especially so at night. Then that takes us to Christmas Eve, and this is the chart for Christmas Eve with tonight's 21st Christmas update. And we're starting to try and bring milder air back in from off the Atlantic. Now, it could be a bit of a problem here. If that mild air comes into the cold air and does a bit of a stall, then we might see the chance of some snow coming in with that. So that really is a sort of chart that's on a knife edge. Milder air is definitely piling in from the Atlantic, or trying to pile in from the Atlantic, but to our north and east, we have got a big wedge of cold air now. There's the upper air temperatures showing that we are beginning to lift the temperatures up a little bit, but still quite cold, especially so for northern parts of the country. As I say, there's a weather front that's moving in with that as well. By mid-accuracy, that weather is actually on the eastern side of the country, but presumably that could bring some sort of rain or snow across the country on Christmas Eve. So that's quite an interesting chart to start off Christmas Eve. There's the temperatures showing that for England and Wales, it's not overly cold really by this point. We're at around 6-7 degrees, but go further north, Northern England and Scotland, it does look really quite cold there, with temperatures across Scotland in particular struggling to get much above freezing. This is how Christmas Day is looking. So we're building high pressure back in across the country. I think the air is still relatively cold with this. So there's the upper air temperatures for Christmas Day. We see it's looking quite cold across eastern parts of the country. Western areas are milder. Missing precipitation for Christmas Day. This could be snow up across the northern parts of Scotland. Could be wintry showers down the east part. Otherwise, there's a lot of dry weather. But it's a cold Christmas Day, really, with temperatures, excuse me, especially in eastern parts of the country, just 4, 5, 6 degrees. It is a bit milder going out to the west, but certainly a seasonably chilly Christmas Day there, not really mild by any means. And then we go through to Boxing Day, and we find high pressure is just building across not just the UK, but many sort of northern and western parts of Europe. It's trying to get itself up towards Scandinavia, you will notice. There's the upper air temperatures. They're looking reasonably mild for the west, still a bit on the chilly side of the east, but look how cold it is across many parts of Europe. Much of northern, central, eastern Europe really plunged into the freezer, and with that high pressure trying to get itself up towards Scandinavia, such as we see there, if we did turn the wind into the east, certainly from an upper air temperature perspective, there is a lot of cold air that's sitting just to our east. Virtually dry across all parts of the country. All of this precipitation across central northern Europe would be snow, of course. For us, it is mostly dry. There's some wintry showers perhaps being suggested around eastern coast ranges, but the bulk of the country having a dry day for Boxing Day. But it's cold again. Temperatures just 4 or 5 degrees. Many others, I suspect there will be night frost risk as well. So not a particularly wintry Christmas for tonight's 21st Christmas update, but certainly seasonably chilly and probably getting colder as we go further on. There is a bit of a question mark about Christmas Eve as well. Just quickly run you through the post-Christmas period. So this is Wednesday, 27th of December, where high pressure is still dominating, and I think we are gradually bringing in colder air from off the continent as well with this. So if that came off, we would expect increasing risk of hard overnight frost and probably freezing fog patches as well. That's Wednesday, 28th of December. So again, continuing really cold and frosty across many parts of the country with this high pressure dominating. A little bit milder for Western Scotland and Northern Ireland, but for the majority of not just the UK, but for much of Central and Northern Europe, we're under this high pressure. And really cold and frosty, I would have thought, by this point. The snowy weather is going down into the east and southeast of Europe, by the way, with this trough. So we are on the wrong side of the ridge to get snow with this, but it would be cold and frosty at the very least, and probably with freezing fog as well. That's Friday 29th of December. Again, that high pressure is dominating. Again, it's trying to get itself up towards Scandinavia, so this is trying to get the wind around to the east. At the very least, there's enough to be pulling cold continental air in across the country. So again, a lot of hard frost, maybe freezing fog patches there. Not particularly snowy, but certainly frost and fog would be an issue in this post-Christmas period, and it would be turning increasingly cold, I would have thought. And that's how we finish up as far as we can go with the GFS tonight. Is Saturday the 30th of December. Again, high pressure is dominating. It's setting itself somewhere between Scandinavia and northern Germany, trying to get winds into the east. Not a true easterly, but there's enough of the continental influence, again, to be dragging in really quite cold sort of surface temperatures. If I show you, for example, the dew points here, you can see that we have got cold dew points, cold surface temperatures across not just the UK, but many parts of Europe, well and truly in the freezer with this area of high pressure. So although this isn't particularly wintry for Christmas and beyond in terms of snow, it is really quite a cold update, this 21st update. And at the very least, it's very seasonal. There will be a lot of frost, probably freezing fog as well, and just a really cold sort of end to December, albeit not with much snow. But this is an ever-changing situation, and I would suspect, though you never know with the weather, but I would suspect we will see further changes on this in the coming model runs. I'm not sure how much support this scenario has within the GFS ensembles, and the ECWF hasn't come out yet, so I'm not sure whether that model is shifting to this kind of scenario either. So it's quite different, this, compared to most of the updates we've had this year. It is cold, not snowy, but it is cold and frosty from Christmas through to New Year. And let's just wait and see what the next updates have to say. So we'll do the 22nd Christmas update on Saturday. Come back for that then. But put this down as a cold one tonight. 21st Christmas update was a cold one, albeit not yet snowy. And I say not yet because this could change as we get close to Christmas. Right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.